Welcome back to a new video. Today we are talking about 10 changes that I would like to see implemented in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The first change I would like to see is to implement a friends list. There's so many times where I've been playing this game where I've gone into a lobby and I've met some really cool people, but because this game has no way to add people on a friends list, there's no way of me ever really playing with them again unless I get their information with their Discord or with their Steam. A lot of the time it's just whether or not I get lucky and match up with them again, and that kind of sucks because I feel like it would be nice to log on to the game every now and then and just see a bunch of your friends on it and just be able to send them an invite. I think that would be an amazing feature that they could implement. Another feature that I think would be an awesome one to implement would be the ability to drop items or give items to other players. Say you have a fuse and you're not pushing the fuse box, you give it to a Danny or somebody that is going to push the fuse box, and you yourself can go on the other side of the map and do something completely different. I think that would be a great idea, and also a way to, instead of wasting healing items when you're searching for a lockpick or a bone scrap, you can drop the bottle of health on the ground so you don't waste it when you're gathering those materials or those items. The third change that I would love to see is some more content, some more events, as well as maybe implementing certain things around maps, say breakable walls, where if you were to break this wall, it would be permanently open for the rest of the map, but you could, as a victim, rebuild the wall if you wanted to, similar to Call of Duty Zombies. I know that's kind of getting off topic, but you'd be able to rebuild the wall and potentially save yourself or your teammates in the future. The fourth change that I would love to see is the ability for Sonny to use his power from the start of the game. Sonny is one of the weakest characters in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and he kind of heavily relies on his power to avoid a lot of damaging situations, so I think it would be directly in his benefit to allow him to use his power at the start of the game so he wouldn't get one shot by a Leatherface. The fifth change that I would love to see implemented would be for separate binds to be implemented for picking up items or moving through gaps. There's often times when you're playing this game when you're trying to traverse a crawl gap or a crawl space and there's a bone pile next to you or a bottle of health next to you, and this will get you killed 9 times out of 10 because your character will go for the grab on the bone shard or the grab on the bottle of health, and that will override you crawling through that gap. So I would love to see an option for that, to either have a separate keybind or just the ability to make your own customized keybinds in this game. For the sixth change that I would love to see implemented, I would love them to implement an offline mode to allow newer players to learn the maps better, to figure out where the spawns are for the fuses, for the valves, for just generally everything. I feel like this would be such an amazing feature to give to a newer player who doesn't want to sit in a lobby for 10 minutes and die instantly at the start of the game. I think this would just allow them to just get more immersed and just enjoy the game a lot more at the start of their experience of TCM. The seventh change that I would love to see implemented into the game would be to reduce the grind for perks, or implement a system that would allow you to choose what character you wanted to level while also being able to play a different victim at that time. This would avoid the situation of when players join a match wanting to level a certain character and somebody has already locked them in. You wouldn't have the fear or the chance that that victim, once they loaded into the game, that they would instantly disconnect because they were pissed that they didn't get the victim of their choice. The eighth change that I would love to see implemented would be to reduce the time it takes to set up Nancy's barbed wire and also reset her barbed wire. It takes way too long, way too long in today's rushing meta, that it doesn't allow you enough time to set up even 2 barbed wire before you need to be protecting your objectives. Another thing that I would love to see implemented for our 9th change would be to have a custom talent tree or loadout. Just the ability to subtract skill points to reduce specific sections if you didn't want to respec your entire skill tree. It's extremely frustrating when you're leveling up a new character and you accidentally go in the wrong direction. It would just be a nice way to either give the player the ability to right click the skill tree nodes and go back in the opposite direction that that they wanted to, or just give them the option to say they're in a game and they don't want to respec their entire build because that would take forever and it's also been changed so they can't. It would just give that player the ability in the game to, hey, there's a hitch player, let me respec in a certain way so I can still play the certain victim that I really enjoy playing, but also have the access to bomb squad, so I'm not giving the enemy team an advantage and I'm not also putting my team at a disadvantage by not running a very strong perk. The last change is going to be kind of 3 changes in one because I figured that they're all kind of under the same category of general character changes that I would like to see implemented. For one, I would love it if Cook's ability no longer pinged the generator. I think this would be a great change and just a nice quality of life change to Cook players. The next change I would love to see is for the hitboxes for Sissy's Smoke and Johnny's Swing to just kind of be a little bit more consistent. There's often times where I'm playing Sissy or I'm playing Johnny and there's certain interactions, say a victim is crawling through a gap and say I blow my smoke at an angle and it's not directly on. I still think that should be able to hit the victim that goes through the gap. You shouldn't have to look directly at the victim as they're going through the gap. If they're going through the gap and you blow smoke through that area, it should go through the gap and still hit them. And Johnny, for his swing, I feel like there's definitely some times where I know that I'm standing still and I slightly tap the button to like move forward as Johnny, and that slight tap of that button will send Johnny on just like a spiral of just swinging everywhere. And I get it. I know why Johnny players, there's that stigma behind them that they just swing to win, and that's true, a lot of them do, but there's certain times when you're playing Johnny and you're swinging and you feel like your hits should be connecting and they're not. And if you guys have any more changes that you would like to suggest, leave them down in the comments. I would love to read them and maybe make a future video on them. This video in itself is just a video coming from my heart because I enjoy this game a lot and I want to see this game do the best that it possibly can, and I feel like it has the ability to. It's just on the brink of what it's been capable of showing us. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you guys did, consider dropping a like and consider subscribing to my channel. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers and that would be awesome if you're our 1,000th sub. All right, have an amazing day, stay safe homies, I will catch you in the next video.